We just finished watching Get the Gringo.
Yeah.
Nobody knows about anybody who was involved with the film.
It's like Adrian Grunberg.
That sounds right.
Who directed this shit?
Adrian Grunberg.
What the fuck? Alright.
That sounds right.
What did he do?
I don't
Before
know what
this.
else the fuck he's done.
So
He's
who
just
cares?
a guy.
Yeah, so the film is about Mel Gibson's character who was involved in some sort of robbery. You're failing really hard.
Can you open that for me?
And he gets arrested, and he ends up going to a no-holds-barred prison in Mexico.
No holds bars. What does that mean?
It means there's no rules.
Nothing.
Didn't
There's
you watch
no
wrestling?
Go on. You're doing
And the plot,
fine.
the plot progresses from there. It's him involved in prison. He ends up meeting up with a 10-year-old boy, I believe, from the wrong side of the tracks, and they bond, and it becomes him trying to save the boy and himself.
I'd also be a
In a
mentor
prison.
to him to some degree.
In some degrees.
Yeah.
Don't forget the mom.
Right, and there's a mother that becomes a faint love interest.
Single mother.
Apparently, yes.
Faint love interest. If you didn't see the movie, go see the movie so you can, criticize it. The way that we are going to criticize it. Because it wasn't a good movie.
We should. I feel like we should maybe put a disclaimer. No, not a disclaimer. I fucking hate Mel Gibson.
Yeah, he's fucking.
I hold Mel Gibson in contempt for
It was
for
hard.
his.
I don't know why the fuck we chose this movie because we
Yeah.
all hate him.
Yeah, ever since Mel Gibson became a well-known bigot, racist, and misogynist,
And
I've sort of given up on him.
Any interview that he has given is so shitty. Like, he is such a contrived
Oh yeah,
fake
he's
actor. Like, I can't imagine a genuine bone in this man's body.
Mm-hmm.
No.
No, Mel Gibson and he
Given the
broke up.
given the publicity that this guy has had, and any interviewer that talks to him wants to discuss, his controversy.
Yes.
He can't weasel his way out of it.
No.
He's tried. He's given really, really fake apologies.
Yeah.
I don't know. Me and Mel Gibson had a very hard breakup.
I know.
ago.
He bit your head.
Looking past that though, I tried.
You
I tried
to
to
look
set
past
that.
him biting off your head?
No.
The first thing that I have to say is that it was poorly written. I couldn't get through the writing. No matter who was the actor, it didn't matter. They could have gotten the most magnificent actor. They couldn't have delivered those lines any better than what was delivered.
Mm-hmm.
But like my old mother always told me, fuck off, loser.
The film had it was cheese beyond expectation.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the movie was going to be cheesy.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't super shocked by the cheesiness and wasn't appalled the whole time watching it because I expected it to be that way.
The only thing that really bothered me, Mel Gibson, by the way, does narration throughout, telling the audience basically the plot and what he's thinking.
Yeah.
He reminds us of what we're supposed to be.
Yeah, what we easily could have figured out for ourselves. The only thing that really bothered me about that, I mean, the writing was terrible, and it was horribly cheesy, but they did it too much, and when they did it, they paused the action. And it happened a lot of times in the middle of action sequences where all of a sudden they would pause and he would tell us what was going on. And it took me out of the movie and was sort of jarring and annoying.
Yeah.
That would have bothered me if the narration or if the action scenes, were well done.
But he starts getting beaten up in the prison cell at the very beginning of the movie, and it starts, and I was like, okay, he's gonna get his ass kicked, and it stopped. in the first 30 seconds of it and paused and what was the narration?
Ah, fucking ouch.
I was like, stop doing that. I get it. I know it hurts. You're getting beaten up. Like, it's not witty. It's not insightful in any way. And it's just chopping up the action.
It was, some people complain about movies having no narration. I've never had to complain about a movie being over narrated.
Yeah.
This movie was over narrated.
Yeah. And I don't know who they're trying to appeal to with that either. Like, the lowest common denominator that's not gonna fucking understand anything. It's like, oh, I guessed it. Oh, I'm right.
I guessed that he got punched in the face, and he was like, ow, I got punched in the face. Great.
Yeah.
Fucking cinematic masterpiece. So let's talk about, the editing.
You know what? Technically, I didn't see all that much wrong with this film, except for one really terrible editing choice.
So here's where we disagree again.
Okay.
I thought it was fucking super shitty editing. Like this could have been done on like Windows Media Player.
Windows Movie Maker?
Movie Maker.
Yeah.
As far as like the story
what about all
and the
pauses
narration
and the action?
Exactly. You were
okay, yes, I will give you that.
No,
I consider that script.
Let's say this straight for editing. You already bitched about the editing.
What do you guys? I know we started on this. What do you guys think that the tone of this movie was supposed to be? Was it supposed to be?
Because it almost seemed comedic at times.
Yeah, it definitely did.
The music and just I don't know, like.
Mel Gibson's ridiculous running.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
No,
it was like a film noir Die Hard.
Yeah.
Or Lockout.
Film
noir.
Film noir Die Hard.
Yeah.
I gotta let that sink in for a second.
So our final thoughts on the film are as follows. Drew, what feeling were you left with at the end of this film?
I don't know. I feel like I'm off on my own here. The film was not by any means great. The narration style itself was done poorly. It felt really contrived, and like it thought I was an idiot. But I don't think the film was as terrible as I thought it was going to be. There were elements to it that I liked. Certain things like the climax was terrible, a lot of the action was subpar. But I expected worse from this film. I'd give it maybe a 6 out of 10.
I knew you were going to do that. Drew, shut the fuck up.
I'm not saying anything.
Zoe, tell the camera, the people, who would like this movie.
I think somebody just wanting something mindless and kind of funny and who doesn't really care about film a lot and just watches movies occasionally on the weekend just to get their mind off their terrible job dumping paint into the river would enjoy this movie.
Okay. So what your final thoughts, Zoe?
My final thoughts, it's not my kind of movie really, I guess. But so I went in with pretty low expectations as well. I expected it to have, some shootouts, which it did, and I didn't find that the action was, like, choreographed that well, like, it wasn't done very well. I didn't feel excited ever, like, it was just kind of like, oh, there's a bunch of people dying. I don't know if I just want, like, a mindless action movie that may confuse you, but then explain itself at some points. But this might be okay. I would give it maybe, like, a 4.6 out of 10. Yeah.
Can I go?
Yeah, you can go.
Alright. So I just watched Get the Gringo. Mel Gibson was the star, and there was a mother figure.
I think
you're supposed to be giving your final thoughts on the film, not the whole film from start to end.
My final thought. If Okay, if I was someone looking to watch a movie, and I picked up this movie, and I read the front of it, or looked at the front of it, and I looked at the back of it, I would put it down, and I wouldn't watch it.
That's
Okay.
all right.
It's orange, the cover, it's abrasive.